Alright guys, so this is a little plasma ball with a Rasengan effect that I made a little bit ago, and I'm going to show you how to do something like this so we can start having some fun with some really cool effects. So the effects here and the filters are pretty easy, but like it says on the unit in the lesson plan, that it's the combination of the techniques that are kind of tricky. So you'll know how to do these things, but you just have to make sure you know how to do them in the right order. So I'm going to make a new document. It doesn't really matter the size totally because we'll be able to adjust with the effects in preview, but it does matter if you go online and find some other techniques. You'll see some that are rather small, and like the resolution is 72 dpi, which is great for computer use, but we're going to print these, so I want the resolution at 300 right from the get-go. And I can imagine if you have a 24 by 30 poster, the Rasengan would be about 5 inches or so. I just looked at some of the ones that were in the back. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Let's do 10 by 10, just so we can, shrink it down a little bit if you want to. All right, and hit OK. And now I got a square. If you hit Command Shift Delete, it will fill it with black, like I just did on that one. It's just a fast way of filling it with whatever the background layer is. If I flip these colors around and do it again, it just fills it with the background color. That's all it does. Alright, so I'm going to get a new layer going just so I can have one. And I'm going to do a couple of things on here. First things first, with white and black selected, I'm going to go to my filter, and I'm going to go to Artistic and choose Plastic Wrap. And then I'm going to shrink this down a little bit so I can see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. That's pretty much what I'm wanting. So I'll hit OK, and there it is. Next thing I'm going to do is go to Filter, and I'm going to go to Distort and go to Wave. So what I'm looking for right here is the plasma piece. I'm looking for plasma. So there's a couple things you can do here. It gives you a little preview here. You can hit Randomize. It doesn't give you a lot of choices. But if I increase the number of generators, increase the wavelength, increase the amplitude, you can see it's doing quite a bit more. So maybe I want my wavelength to go out a little bit. Amplitude maybe a little bit less. That looks pretty good right in there. So again, this is kind of like an up to you sort of thing. See, that's kind of looking like plasma like that. So here's the numbers. I'll leave them up there. I got 33 generators. I can change that, and then it kind of breaks apart. But anything under 100, I think you'll be good. 65 looks good. And then you can randomize these and get like slightly different ones. Ooh, I like that one. I'm going to stick with that one. And then hit OK. Alright. Then I'm going to plastic wrap it one more time. So again, this is just to make the plasma piece. So I'll go to Filter again, Artistic, and Plastic Wrap. Shrink it down a little bit so I can see it. And let's get some pretty cool effects in here. I can take my highlight strength, bring it down a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I can make it even less so it's rather smooth. See what happens when you crank it up, you get like these steps looking things, which if that's what you're going for, that might be kind of cool too. See? Almost looks like a flower. It's kind of cool looking. Or like a shell maybe, I don't know. That is pretty cool. Alright, so whatever you want to do. See the difference? So maybe I will highlight the strength up like this and then blur it, because I don't think I want these lines in here, but I really like the gradients in there. That's really cool looking. Alright, So I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to blur this layer out because I don't want those lines. And I don't want lens blur. Oops. So I'll blur this out some. See, 10 pixels, 16 pixels does a pretty good job. Okay. Once I have this, a couple things I can do. And again, it's kind of an up to you kind of a thing. Twirl is really cool. You can do that under Distort. Twirl is a pretty neat effect. You can kind of see what that looks like. It's looking pretty awesome. That looks pretty awesome. That one's looking a little bit more like plasma. I can make it twist the other way if I want. I'm digging that one right there. That looks awesome. It looks kind of organic. That's pretty cool. Alright, so there's my plasma swirl. That's looking pretty cool. I'm going to duplicate this layer. No, I'm going to colorize it, then duplicate it. So I'm going to colorize it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to go straight to adjustments and make a hue saturation layer. No. I don't want to affect everything. What I want to do is just go to the actual image, go to adjustments, and do hue saturation so it only affects this layer 1. Click on colorize, choose my color, Blue Devils. Whoa, so it's got to be blue, because you know me. Go Blue Devils. Saturate it a little bit. Hit OK. Now I'm going to duplicate that, and on my top layer I'm going to choose color dodge. And now I got a really nice glow going. Now it's a little bright for me, so I might kill that opacity just a little bit there. But then I got this variation in color going on. There, that looks pretty cool. Alright, see, that wasn't too hard. That's how I got this plasma piece going. Now there's a couple other things that I could do if I wanted to get some plasma going all around it, like the little cloud shaped kind of plasma piece. I can do that for sure. Get a new layer and let's get that filled with black. So it's still there, you know, my plasma is. I just hid this kind of on top of it. Now let me think for a second. If I really want to do this and I want it to be seen on top of this, then I probably don't want to fill that. Instead, I'm going to do this. Yep, this is what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is take this and put a gradient on it. It's going to look a lot like that plastic wrap that we just did. So I'm going to have white, gradient, and I'm going to choose the diamond shape. I'm going to go to my center here, go straight up. So I have that. And now I'm going to go to the center again and go straight out to the side. Looks just like that other piece that we just did, right? I'm going to take that opacity and crank it down a little bit. Good deal. Now I'm going to do similar things to what I just did. That's kind of like the plastic wrap that I did at the very beginning. So instead of plastic wrap now, I'm going to go straight to the wave. And I'm going to increase this out a little bit. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to transform it because it's its own creature on its own level, right? On its own layer, I mean. Hold down Option as well. I'm going to make this really big, almost like a cloud. There we go. Actually, that's a little bit too much. I don't want to go past there. I want to keep these pieces inside of it. I don't want to pull these pieces off the canvas. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go to Artistic and Plastic Wrap it again. And And this one I'm going to bring down quite a bit on detail and highlight strength, but I'm going to still keep it very, very smooth. And hit OK. Now it doesn't feel like it did a lot, but trust me, it did. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Alright, now the last thing I'm going to do for this, the reason, I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but it has very small gradient pieces in here. So we're going to play with this new one called Liquify, which we were going to do back when we had the Halloween thing, but since that got tanked and I have to show you how to do Liquify, I figured this is a perfect way to do it. Okay. You want to make sure that you have a couple of things selected here. So you want to make sure you have the backdrop selected. I'm going to make sure that I use the background and the mode is going to be behind. And I'm going to increase the opacity to 100% because I want to see what's going on. That's why this layer has to be off. So I have this layer on, my background on, and now I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go to this one called Bloat. And I'm going to increase my brush size by a lot. That's taking too long. I'm just going to go over to the scrubber and scrub it up. There we go. And I'm going to slowly draw a little circle. Slowly, 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 slowly. Draw a circle. Okay. And then I'm going to take this, which is the forward warp tool, decrease my brush size down a little bit, and I'm going to take these little tendrils and kind of tease them out a little bit more. Just sort of tease them out. Tease them out. Tease that out like that. I'm not going straight. Notice I'm going in a curve. If I want a couple smaller ones to really play with, I can do that. Just like that. Just make like a little S. Just make a little S. Feel like Bob Ross. Happy little plasma balls. Maybe if I want that one to be longer, then I'll start it right about there, just continue it. There we go. If I want this one to be more defined, I can pull from the white and just follow the middle of it. Looks pretty good. I'm going to hit OK. And it will return a Liquify result. Yikes, only 2 minutes left. Okay, so after this, you're basically going to do the same thing you did on this one. Colorize it and put it behind this layer one. Well, maybe on top. We'll have to decide which one looks the best when I get there.